Hello students. Now I am going to tell you about the chapter Morphology in Flowering Plants part 4, and in this we are going to take the flower and the inflorescence. The modified shoot, wherein the shoot apical meristem changes into floral meristem and the internode do not elongate and the axis gets condensed. The apex produces various floral appendages uh, laterally at successive nodes, and instead of leaves, when a shoot tip transforms into a flower, it is solitary. Now, what is this? Actually, if a small axis of a stem, it is which is having leaves and nodes and internodes, all these parts are highly condensed. The length of the internodes is so reduced that all the parts they are condensed into a bunch, and this is known as a floral uh, appendages, and this happens when the meristematic tissue changes into floral meristem. This is how the flowers are formed. Now, on the basis of the flowers, how they are growing, and on the basis of this, the inflorescence are known racemose and cymose. So, here racemose, in this the main axis continues to grow. That means on the axis on which the flowers are growing, it keeps on growing, and the flowers are born laterally. On the side, the flowers will develop, and this is known as acropetal succession. As you can see on the first diagram, racemose inflorescence, the new flowers are growing at the top, and older flowers are at the bottom, because the main axis is it is growing continuously, so new flowers will grow at the tip. And cymose, because the flowers end up at the tip of the main axis, so what happens, the new flowers will grow at the bottom, so basipetal. So acropetal and basipetal. Now the flowers. Flowers are called reproductive unit of the angiosperm. That means they are responsible for the sexual reproduction. And the flower has stalk or pedicel. Its swollen end is called thalamus or receptacle, and thalamus is the portion on which all the floral appendages are arranged. And below the sepals, the leaf-like structures are present. These are called bracts, and if bracts are present, the flowers are known as bracteate, and if these are absent, they are called ebracteate. Now the flower is having 4 kinds of whorls, and they are arranged into 2 categories, like accessory organs, calyx and corolla, which are colored portion, and they are responsible for attracting the pollinators, and main reproductive organ, that is androecium and gynoecium. Androecium is male part, and the here in some flowers, for example lily, the calyx and corolla, they cannot be differentiated. In most of the flowers, sepals are green in color and petals are uh, uh, colored portion, and they can be distinguished. But in some flowers, for example lily, you cannot differentiate where is the sepal and where is the petal, and that is the condition which is known as perianth. When the flowers have both androecium and gynoecium, that means both the organs are there, reproductive organs are there, they are called bisexual flowers. And when the flowers are having only androecium or only gynoecium, that means they are known as unisexual flowers. Flowers are divided into 3 categories on the basis of symmetry. actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetric. So here one by one. Actinomorphic, here the flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in when it is cut down from any radial plan which exactly should be passing through the center, and that is from mustard, datura, chili leaves. So these are radially symmetrical. Zygomorphic, when the flowers can be divided into two similar halves only in one particular vertical plane. So you can see here there are pea plant, gulmohar, bean, cassia. These are the flowers which can be divided into two halves only from one plane. Asymmetric, canna, the different varieties of canna that can be divided into two, cannot be divided into two similar halves from any vertical plane, so they are called asymmetric. Now, on the basis of number of floral appendages, the flowers are again divided into many types: trimerous, tetramerous, pentamerous. That means if the floral appendages are in the multiple of 3, that means 3 petals, and tetramerous means the multiple of 4, and multiple of 5 pentamerous. So they are divided into trimerous, tetramerous, and pentamerous flowers. And on the basis of position of the calyx, corolla, and androecium in respect to ovary on the thalamus, they are divided into 3 types of ovaries. Where the ovary is located on the basis of this: hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous. You can see here that hypogynous, here gynosium occupies the highest position while the other parts are situated below it. The ovary is superior. For example, mustard, china rose, brinjal. Here you can see on the receptacle or the thalamus, top position is of ovary. So at the top it is there, and on the below the ovary are the different appendages. So in this situation it is hypogynous, that means superior ovary. And perigynous. Perigynous means this is the gynosium is situated in the center, and the other parts of the flowers are located on the rim of the thalamus, almost at the same level, right? The ovary is half inferior. The ovary is not completely inferior, means it is not embedded into the thalamus, but it is half embedded into the thalamus, and that is why it is half inferior, and it is called as perigynous. For example, plum, rose, peach. And in epigynous, the ovary is completely embedded into the thalamus, and that is why it is called inferior ovary. That perigynous was half inferior, but it is completely, so it is called, the ovary is inferior. And guava, cucumber, rare florets of the sunflower, these are all epigynous flowers. Now parts of flowers: calyx, corolla, androecium, gynosium. Now calyx is the outermost whorl of the flower. That means in simple words they are known as sepals. And the second whorl is corolla, which is a colored part. Then the third whorl is of androecium, that is of male part. And in the center, the interior part is the gynosium, female part. I have already told you that outermost whorl of the flower, sepal. Generally sepals are green in color. In most of the flower you will find it green in color, and which is having the role of protecting the flower in the bud stage when they are in the form of bud. The calyx may be gamosepalous, that means when the sepals are united, that is called gamosepalous, as you can see here in the picture, and polysepalous when they are separate. That means in the rows you can see that all the sepals are free from each other. It is the wall inner to the calyx. It is composed of petals, colored portion. The petals are bright colored. It helps to attract the insects for pollination. And corolla may be again, if it is united, gamopetalous, and if it is free, then it is polypetalous. You can see here in the picture, corolla may be tubular. When the flower is of tube like, then that is called as tubular, and if it is looking like a bell shape, then bell shaped, funnel shaped, or wheel shaped. So this is all about the parts of flower. Next we will go in next video.